Hi everyone, welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing okay. Yeah, no worries, missed. I don't feel too bad at the minute. I'll just see how we go during the stream. Should be fine. Not set in stone to be 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, I had to start with the, you know, showing the palico off. It's the best thing about Monster Hunter, isn't it? Yeah, so apologies for the sort of last minute arrangement for the stream today. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it because I've been feeling a bit off colour the last couple of days. Honestly, more or less since I finished the stream on Sunday, I've been feeling a bit off colour, but I thought I'll try it. I'll see how it go. Maybe we have to end a little bit earlier if I don't feel great, but we'll just see how things go. So plan today, as you can probably tell, is we're going to play some Monster Hunter World. Now, I know a lot of people probably want me to fight Alatreon and Fatalis. I'll be honest, I don't really feel up to that at the minute. I'm happy to do anything else. We will do another Monster Hunter World stream where we do Alatreon and Fatalis though, for sure. It's playable. Been pretty off since yesterday as well, seems to be a general thing. Yeah, I know a lot of the people where I work are getting ill as well, so that doesn't help. That's what it is, playable, yeah. It's what happens when you don't get an SGS. You just get progressively iller until you get one. So, I do plan, if people want to play Monster Hunter World, I'm totally down to do it. What I will do is I will drop the session ID in the chat so that it's for the PC version. I'm happy to do high rank hunts if you've only got Monster Hunter World. I'm happy to do master rank if you're an Iceborne. So I'll pop the session ID in both chats, just so if you do want to join, feel free. Unfortunately, you get the session ID. I have to come out of the lovely, you know, petting session with the cat. Also, LGP, I don't know if you want to pin that message, particularly on YouTube. Feel free to pin the session ID message if you want to. It was great to play PSO with you last night, mate. Yeah, it was nice to catch up again. Yeah, I'm glad you've got it working at least. But it's £2 a month. You could help that northern YouTuber fulfill his dream of getting an SGS. I'd like to think that you're with me in spirit. Hi, Ground. Speaking of which, Ground is now in the session. Yeah, so like I said, anyone in chat, feel free to join the session. It's just open to anyone. And I'm happy to hunt more or less anything. As I say, I think the only exception is like the really in-game stuff, just because I don't feel like I don't feel like I can really focus enough on it. You're here to join for hunt out of boredom. That is absolutely fine. So I'll give it a couple of minutes just in case anyone else wants to come in. So yeah, I know there are people who want to see me do Alatreon and Fatalis. That will have to wait for another stream just because I do not feel up to it at the minute. We may do more Monster Hunter World either next week or the week after. YouTube won't let you pin comments. That's really stupid. You would think a moderator would be able to. That's fine. I can sort that now then. Just give me a second and I will get that sorted for you. There you go, that should be pinned now. Can't even do it on Twitch either. Oh, hey, Drac. I love the feline helm. It's so cursed, but it's so good. You typed it verbatim. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I mean, I will try and go as long as I can today. We'll see. I mean, we might end up doing a normal stream if I feel okay. If not, we might just end it a little bit early. You love it, sailors. Use it for the laid armor. You can time out and ban. That's it. I don't even think there's any options to actually give you any more rights. I think it is literally just, no, you can time out and ban, and that's all. So is anyone actually after anything at the minute? After any hunts or anything? Again, ideally not Fatality Alatreon, just because I will get us killed with my current state of mind. I'm happy to do more or less anything else, honestly. I can't guarantee I'll be any good because I'd be super rusty. LJP has mod title, but no mod tools. So yeah, just while we're getting started here, so just let you guys know, so a video went live on Monday for members, which is the PSP2 video. That will go live later today for non-members. It might have actually just gone live, actually, because I think I did schedule it. Again, my brain is kind of a fog at the minute, so I can't even remember if I scheduled it. If I haven't scheduled it, I will schedule it after the video straight away. I think I did, though. So that should be the PSP2 video, and then next weekend there'll be a PSO video again, which will be probably the return of the lore playthrough. You'll do any hunts, so no specific hunts. Oh, cool. That's fine. Tell you what, I'll just load something up and let's get started. Little something to make you feel better. Appreciate all the consistent content you make too, dude. Thanks for always being your authentic self always. Oh, cheers, dude. Yeah, honestly, I think the illness is probably down to the fact that I work in a hospital as well when I'm not streaming, so that does not help. Alright, what can we do? One thing I do kind of need in this game is some crowns. It's about the only thing left I need to do. Yeah, go on, we'll do that. Why not? Ash-tempered Volcano, perfect starting hunt. Worst place for illness. It is. It's terrible. I feel like I'm constantly ill. So obviously the other reason we're playing Monster Hunter is because, you know, we need to start progressively building the hype up for Monster Hunter Wilds, because that is going to be played a lot when it gets released. Hi, Tycoon. Yeah, going all right. Just said at the start of the stream, I'm not feeling 100% at the minute. I've been a bit ill for the last couple of days, but I'm all right for the most part, though. So yeah, I just thought we'd do a couple of hours of Monster Hunter World, just a few casual hunts for chat. Because as much as I would love to just play PSO forever, it does get to a point where you need to take a little break. So glad you're doing better, bro. Yeah, cheers, dude. The event was a drainer. I think by the end of it, I think most people were honestly getting a bit tired of it. Just because you go so hard on hunting everything that it does just get old very fast. So I thought I'd start out with Insect Glaive so I can actually try and remember how to actually play this game. It's been a while. So we do have Bambaro there. The EXP now feels poo. It does. It feels terrible now, doesn't it? I know we played yesterday and it felt so slow. Alright, so I guess we'll do Urugan first then. Why not? Now, can Sky remember how to play Monster Hunter World? Immediately gets put to sleep. Yeah, it does feel incredibly slow now that we've finished the event. It's going to take a bit of getting used to, for sure. As much as I would like to get in there, there is literally bombs everywhere. Well, the event was a drainer for mostly good reasons, to be fair. I mean, it was. I mean, the stuff that we got from it was ridiculous. Tempted to make a force, but you're not sure which is the most beginner friendly. I mean, honestly, if you just want to blow stuff up with a force, Phonium is the one to do it. I do find Phonium very easy to play as well. The only downside is you are like paper. You will get killed by pretty much anything that looks at you. But I do find it quite easy to play. The downside of a Phonium world though is that the boosts are more sort of party oriented. Your tech boosts are not really that useful, I find. You think Phonium's easiest? I don't really feel like I'm qualified to talk about Phonium because I've never really had a decent level 1. Honestly, and the entire reason for that is just the way the look kind of put me off. I'm sorry to everyone who likes Phonium, but I struggle to get past that. Spam Raz and go max mind. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's basically how I play my Phonium all now. But yeah, I thought we'd play a little bit of Monster Hunter because I know there is a few people in the community that play it, and obviously with Wilds coming out next year, it just seems like the right thing to do. Because I know I'm going to be playing a lot of that game anyway, so it just makes a lot of sense. Rip Bambaro. It's honestly just trying to vary things up a bit on the channel as well, just so it's not all PSO. I'm not sure what to play this weekend yet, though. I don't know whether we play PSO or whether we do PSU. Obviously, it'll be a Phantasy Star game at the weekend, but I just don't know which one yet. Also, if the game sounds quiet, it is. I've literally got it running at the highest volume it'll go, and for some reason it's still quiet. It's a problem I've had with Monster Hunter World for ages. I don't know why, it just always runs quiet. Episode 3, I mean, that's an option. It depends if people want to see it. I mean, I know people like watching it. The only issue with episode 3 is, you know, realistically, it's just going to be 2 people with starter decks again, throwing boomers out constantly. I do want to play more Ep 3 though, because it is a fun game. That, and I know LGP loves it as well. Really enjoyed it. It's so different. Oh, it is. I mean, it's completely different to episode 1 and 2. If this seems very easy, it is. Because there's loads of targets in this quest, all the monsters have reduced health. You basically just farm this to try and get, like... There's a thing in Monster Hunter called crowns, where monsters can be different sizes. And there's achievements for getting, like, really big monsters or really small ones. And getting the crowns is one of the last things I need to do in Monster Hunter World. I've got most of them, but there's a few I'm still missing. See if we can find next. I think it's going to be Brachydios next, I think. Yeah, to anyone who wants PSO stuff, don't worry, there will still be loads more PSO stuff. I mean, we may end up playing it at the weekend, but we'll see. It will be some variety of Phantasy Star at the weekend. Yeah, I suppose the other major thing that we probably need to talk about at the minute, in regards to gaming, I have mentioned this on the Discord, but the Sony announcement. So I imagine most people probably saw it, but yeah, Sony announced the PS5 Pro, and in the UK it's going to cost £700, and doesn't even come with a stand. And I'm so rusty at this at the minute. Cheese for plus not LGP. I feel I'm just like rolling into every attack at the minute. I used to be good at this game. This is a high level run, so I mean I'm at endgame in this. I've got pretty much like the best gear in the game. The way Monster Hunter is, though, you can basically just replay stuff over and over again. But yeah, this is quite high level stuff. I am open though, if people say only have base game Monster Hunter World and want to do mainly high rank, I would say, I'm open to doing that as well. I really don't mind. You had to join the dark side as YouTube stopped letting you chat. Why did it stop letting you chat? Was it just like a bug with YouTube, or is it saying you're banned or something? So I can assure you I have not banned you. Kept saying error sending message. That's really weird. Except the stream's still up, I think, on YouTube by the looks of things, so no idea what's going on. I'm just going to assume it's a problem on YouTube's end. If anyone else gets any problems with the YouTube side, just let me know. And yeah, no worries, LJP, if you want to post that session ID every so often, that'd be really helpful, actually. LJP banned me for donating. Yeah, Parkins, I mean, there is much harder stuff in the game than this. This is, honestly, although it is a Master Rank quest, it's a fairly easy one. There is a lot harder stuff in the game. To the point where when some of the endgame boss fights got released, as like the DLC fights, some people were complaining that they were too hard. Twitch instantly feels so much nicer to use from a viewer perspective. It's not even close. Yeah, I think as a viewer, I think given the choice, I would probably choose Twitch, personally. YouTube is obviously fantastic for like video storage and everything. And I suppose getting an audience initially, getting people to watch videos. Then I suppose the idea is then you can bring them over to watch on Twitch, or they can still watch it on YouTube if they want to. So you ban no one and nobody. I think obviously if you're able to do like AV1 streaming, obviously YouTube is probably a better option that way. Because I believe on Twitch, I think you can only do it with certain cards at the minute, certain GPUs. Played very little of Monster Hunter and used Lance only to find out that it's pretty weak. Lance is really, really interesting because if you watch someone play Lance as like someone who's never played Monster Hunter, it will look like the most boring weapon in the game because it looks like all you do is just poke stuff repeatedly. But it's honestly one of the coolest weapons in the game. I love Lance. Because the great thing about Lance is that although your individual hits don't do much damage, because you've got a really, really good shield and you can counter pretty much everything, you can basically just stay in the monster's face constantly. If you play Lance well, which admittedly I probably don't, you can basically just continually attack more or less. Basil just doing a flyby there just to remind us that he exists. You tend to like the tankiest classes in games. Yeah, I mean, Lance is up there. Like, the other issue that new players probably have with Lance is that they probably think it has almost no mobility as well. Because it probably feels very slow. Am I tripping or are you inside a dragon? You love the gun lance in Rise. Yeah, Rise did a lot for gun lance. I do like it in World as well, though. But yeah, with Lance, although it looks like you've got virtually no mobility, if you know how to play it, it's actually quite mobile because you can do things like dash cancels and things like that. Yeah, I love Lance, particularly in Rise, actually, because Rise gave it some really nice quality of life improvements as well. We'll have to play Rise on stream at some point as well, because I know a few people have Rise. I've got it on Switch and on PC, so I can play both. Rise weapons are sick. I mean, overall, I've mentioned it before, but I do prefer World as a game generally. But I do still enjoy Rise. The only thing I really didn't like with Rise, and it's more problem with Sunbreak, honestly, is that the end game was basically just spamming anomaly quests, which I don't really find that fun. Both at the same time might be quite difficult. Also, I know we had that poll a little while back of what the best Monster Hunter monster music was. I'm sorry, I voted for this guy. This guy's theme is sick. Is one of the best songs for sure. I love it. I think it fits the personality of the monster really well. I just love this monster in general, honestly. The way it was introduced in World. The fact that he would just show up, well, regular Basilgeuse anyway, would just show up in your hunting high rank when you weren't hunting him. He would just show up and just ruin your dirt. I do like Seething Basil as well, but I think it's a bit of a shame that he's not an invader anymore. I kind of liked it when he would just show up unannounced and when you just didn't want him at the worst possible times. I know there's other monsters that do it in Iceborne, like Savage Devil Joe, but yeah, I like that about Basil. YouTube chat has bugged out. It's not letting me chat. Okay. Thanks for letting me know that. Is the stream still okay though? Is this actual stream still live? Because on mine it says it is. As long as the stream's still going, that's the main thing. The stream is stream, but the chat ain't chatting. I would just say then that if you are watching on YouTube, apparently there is a problem with the chat over there. If you want to chat, feel free to go over to Twitch. It must just be a problem with the YouTube chat, I'm guessing. Yeah, or you can use the lobby chat in Monster Hunter if you want to. You're rusty, you changed controller layout and you haven't played in ages. Perfect combo. I was the same, dude. I was really, really rusty there. I think ground kind of carried us both, to be honest. Might be worth pinning a comment, maybe. It depends if I can pin one, if it lets me. I will try. Just give me a second. I was muted. Thank you very much. Again, my brain is kind of foggy at the minute. That's playable. I think the way your channel's going at the minute, I think you probably made the right choice with the Lord of the Rings stuff, honestly. It seems to be doing really well, so I would honestly just run with it. Yeah, and see your messages, LGP and ground as well, so maybe just like a bit of a bug with YouTube, you know, so just keep an eye on it. I suppose if the chat does stop working and you do want to chat, you can go over to Twitch if you need to. It's up to you. That's one advantage of multi-streaming, I guess. Must be plenty of old boomers like you that like Lotro. Same for PSO though, isn't it really? I mean, realistically, most people watching PSO are probably of a certain age. Should you use spread, PS, or cluster? I think honestly it depends a lot on the monster, doesn't it? The only thing I would say is I know cluster can be a bit of a pain sometimes in teams if other people aren't using bow guns because it can knock them over a lot. I think most people use spread, don't they, in World, because spread's kind of busted. So I'm late, was walking the dog to meet the missus, then there's been an RTR, so me and the dog came back. RTR, so me and the dog came back. Use PS mostly, you don't have a cluster build. Okay. Yeah, cluster, it's quite awkward to use, really, because you barely have any ammo, so you basically need to constantly craft cluster bombs as well. And yeah, it's difficult to use in a party unless everyone's using bow guns. It can be broken though if you've got a few people using cluster. Pierce is also very meh in World, yeah. I think they fixed it in Rise to an extent, but yeah, I don't really use Pierce much in World at all. RT and RTR. Yeah, my brain is not functioning today. Right, so let's change things up, use something else. I still said it weird. RTA. So if he said something, this guy got hit with 3 ads. Yeah, also let me know if the ads are too intrusive. It's set on a schedule, so hopefully it won't be too bad, but if it does give you a ridiculous amount of ads, let me know. That's the one. I tell you what, we mentioned Lance, so let's use Lance. Why not? You really need to get Rocksteady. Rocksteady is really, really useful for some hunts. 3 is fine, it's just a shame the audio goes with it. Yeah, I mean, for me, I wouldn't mind it on Twitch if they had a thing where they played an ad on the sidebar or something and you could still hear the stream. I think some streams it does do that. But yeah, I know how intrusive it is when it just takes over the entire stream. You've been using Assassin Mantle and Temporal. You're lucky you got the Assassin Mantle, to be honest, because you can't get it now. I just gave the man my last $4.99 on YouTube. Looking like a PSO chat with people falling on the floor. I mean, it is basically. I mean, they've said, haven't they, that Monster Hunter was kind of inspired a bit by PSO, so why not have people fainting in the lobby? Yeah, that is a Devil May Cry emote. There is actually a layer down that makes you look like Dante as well. There was like a Devil May Cry collaboration where the hunts actually had Devil May Cry battle music as well. Spotted that a mile off.
I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, they collab with a few Capcom games. So they did a Street Fighter collab. There was actually a really cool Resident Evil one where you use herbs to heal and you fight what's like a zombie enemy that can turn you into a zombie. No, not Bury the Light, unfortunately. It was way before Devil May Cry 5 release, so Bury the Light is a banger though. Let's see, what else have we got? Actually, we could do the Resident Evil one. You can still do that. Yeah, go on then, let's do that. Can't actually remember if the miasma jewel even works for this because it's a different kind of Val's the one you normally fight. I'll try it anyway. I'll put one in just so there's a chance of me getting zombied. Oh, that force hold for a gotcha force collab. Also, I realised LJP on Affinia, in the music in the lobbies, they've got some music from other games, and they've actually got a track from Jet Force Gemini. Lance and Gunland Sony Quest. I mean, we're 2/3 of the way that. Balam Garden best OST changed my mind. I mean, Balam Garden is chill. Alright, let's go. You suck at good Lance, but you have the build. It should be fine. Yes, this is the Resident Evil quest. So basically there are herbs scattered around the map that we need to get. Effluvia resistance is useless against it. Okay, so I have wasted a slot. Nice one. So there are set nodes on the map that give you specific stuff. So there's a green herb, for example. Considering you haven't played that much of Jet Force Gemini and you've beaten it, I may say it's my favourite game of all time. I can get rid of that, that's fine. Yeah, essentially what they did for the Resident Evil quest is made the spookiest monster in Monster Hunter World. And it turns you into a zombie if you stay near it too long. Or if you take too many hits from it. I mean, to be fair, he is a pretty disgusting monster. So basically, the more damage I take, there's a chance of me getting turned into a zombie. There we go. So I'm now a zombie. It's a great collab, really. It's one of the better collabs they did in this. Use a herb to get rid of it. They definitely picked the right monster for this, though. This guy is pretty much nightmare fuel. He's not really a difficult fight, he's just disgusting to look at. Nemesis is bait. I can hear a lot of zombie noises, so I'm assuming at least one of us is a zombie. Does that reference make old? I feel like it does. I wouldn't necessarily say so. I mean, to be fair, I mean, the Resident Evil games, I mean, they've remade most of them fairly recently, haven't they, anyway, so... Don't become a Jill sandwich and you'll be fine. Nope, we're a zombie again. The funny thing is, you can actually still fight as a zombie as well. The Resident 2 remake was incredible. Honestly, for me, I'm not really a huge fan of horror games, so I tend to not play them. I did play the original Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2, like way back. So the downside of being a zombie is you can't use anything that makes you use stamina, so it means I can't do my hops or anything with Lance, so it's kind of not good for Lance. Remake for 3 was okay-ish, but kind of subpar. I hear that quite often about the Resident Evil 3 remake. Didn't like the direction that 5 and 6 went in. Yeah, I think that they changed it up quite a lot, didn't they, for those games? I tend to hear that 7 and 8 are pretty good, but yeah, for me, it's just not a franchise that I've ever really put a lot of time into. Yeah, so this is what I mean about Lance mobility, so you can do things like this. Actually move a lot faster. Oh, we're a zombie again. Actually run out of herbs, actually. I think there is another one there, actually. Let's grab that. 2 hours fantastic. Played it on the Switch, which was remote streaming. 3 hours felt like a demo. You know, I'm just going to accept that I'm a zombie for the time being. I've come to terms with it now. I'm having second thoughts. I really don't like being a zombie. Not being able to hop with lances, it just ruins the weapon. And still, actually, I can do. That's very weird, actually. So I can do that dash. I can't do the normal hop. Oh, nice break. You play the games to chill out, to unwind, not to be stressed out. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of horror games in general. I do love the zombie run animation. It's like so overdone, but I love it. I've just had a thought, actually. I can cheat the zombie speed by doing this for Lance. You played PT religiously until it got young. That would have been a hell of a game. Yeah, I hear nothing but good things about PT. I still find it really weird that it just never happened. Yeah, I'm really bad with horror games generally. Even like horror segments in games that aren't necessarily horror. So, as an example of that, for how bad I am with it, in Nier Replicant, there's a section where you basically go through an old mansion, and the mansion is basically, well, it is actually an identical copy of the mansion from Resident Evil 1. It's like an homage to it, basically. And the whole thing is just kind of unsettling and creepy. And for the entire thing, I was pretty much horrendous for most of it because I was terrified there was going to be a jump scare. I don't do jump scares at all. I also hate it when you get games that are not horror games that do put jump scares in. So I remember, I think it was back on the PS3, the Mortal Kombat remake, I think it was MK9. There's a section in that called the Crypt, which is where you go to unlock everything. And there's basically a jump scare hidden in it I didn't know about. I did not really want to go back to the Crypt once I'd experienced that. You played RE Village for vampire boobs, worth the scar. Isn't that why most people played Resident Evil Village? Oh, Vector has arrived. Good to see you, Vector. Yeah, deployable playing it for the vampire mummy. And from what I've heard, it is actually a good game. It's just that was like the biggest news about the game when it released, just everyone going crazy for the vampire mummy. She's too big. I mean, she is very big. Some people are into that. trying not to get dominated. It is a pretty good game from what I've seen in the reviews. Yeah, I think most of them have done pretty well. I mean, I know a lot of people like 7 as well. You played and finished 7 in VR. I mean, to me, a VR horror game just sounds like the worst possible thing I could imagine. Yeah, round of applause for It's Playable for beating a horror game in VR. Yeah, I could not do it in VR. I mean, I wouldn't play it normally, never mind VR. I'm a bit mixed on VR anyway. I mean, I do have a VR headset at the minute. Some games I'm absolutely fine with. Some games I can't play because I get really motion sick. It seems to vary entirely depending on the game. Phasmophobia VR is terrifying. Honestly, I kind of imagine that most things in first person that are horror would be terrifying in VR. I think just the fact it's first person adds so much more to it. I know that there are really scary third person horror games as well, but so is mid chat VR, but for different reasons. People love Doom 2016. Weird how you don't do gore, but that game is just hilarious. Yeah, the thing is, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't really like horror games, but gore doesn't really bother me that much. So, you know, when you see things like, you know, like the more recent Mortal Kombat games with the fatalities, like, to me, like, they're so ridiculously over the top that it doesn't really have an effect on me, really. Maybe the first time you see them, you're like, oh god, that's rough. But once you've seen them once or twice, it doesn't really bother me. I think it's because it's so ridiculous. I would pay for you to voice fatality. Yeah. Yeah, the T-side voice pack for Mortal Kombat. Into the Radius is a great VR game. It's like a VR stalker. Yeah, honestly, I think horror games are probably one of the most popular genres for VR, aren't they? I think it's because they can be so immersive and terrifying. Fatality. Instead of get over here, you could say, come here, man. I mean, to be fair, Scorpion does say come here as well. Your SMS ringtone is crispy. I used to love the old Mortal Kombat games. For some reason, I just don't really gel with the new ones. SMS ringtone is the PSO message tone. That's doing it right. I'm really boring. I have my phone on silent all the time. This chat is unhinged. Horror games are the best VR games, but you use your VR for 3D movies. 3D horror movies are awesome. Again, that kind of sounds like my idea of hell, but I get why people would be into it. Alright, yeah, I forgot he does the beam 2 ways in Master Rank. Nice, very well done. Don't put oh, not that isn't us, it's just you. This is what happens when YouTube chat, you know, when YouTube chat's having problems, Twitch just becomes completely unhinged. Yeah, I like that quest. It's pretty cool. Our YouTube chat's working okay now. Yeah, I'm guessing it must have just been like a blip on YouTube's end then.
Welcome.
You did well for first time using gun, lance, and a hunt. That was your first time using it? It's kind of throwing you at the deep end, really, going into Elder Dragon for your first hunt. You did fine, honestly. Yeah, well, if YouTube chat's working okay again, I will take the pin message off. Yeah, there we go, that's sorted. Let me go make a cluster for fun. Yeah, no worries. I always forget how Vector's character looks, and it catches me off guard every single time. In Monster Hunter is basically just PSO. You spend all day lobby dancing. And mine, Aqua Shot, water ammo instead. Yeah, the Aqua Shot is really, really strong. Right, let's switch weapon up again. Yeah, I love Lance. I'm hoping that they keep some of the changes that were made to it in Sunbreak, in Wilds. It got a skill in Sunbreak called Instablock, where you can basically, it's essentially like a parry for Lance, and it was super fun to use. So I'm hoping to keep that in Wilds. Right, let's go brainless mode since I'm feeling pretty brainless at the minute. Gunlance in Wilds is getting a huge boost. Yeah, I mean, one of the main things I noticed with the Wilds trailer for it is the fact that you can like, shell while you're jumping sideways now. So you can like, reposition and shell at the same time, which seems super useful. Honestly, I'm a little bit bummed about Insect Glaive because from what it looks like, they've got rid of the helicopter for Insect Glaive. So you can't like just stay in the air forever now by looks of things. I mean, it was kind of terrible in World anyway. It didn't really do any damage. But it's fun. But it looks like they're taking it out in Wilds. Let's see. What else have we got? No more helicopter, no. You can still vault into the air and things like that. It's just you don't seem to be able to stay in the air as long as you can in the early games. Just seeing what quests I've got, see if there's anything fun we can do. We're not fighting Fatalis yet. If I felt better, I would probably do it. I mean... Oh yeah, Drac needs to do Alatreon as well first, so you can't do Fatalis until you've done Alatreon. I mean, I don't mind trying Alatreon if you want to, but I'm not playing anywhere near my best at the minute, so I will probably cart a lot. So... I don't know if you want to leave Alatreon and Fatalis till like next time we play when I feel better. If we do Alatreon, I'm doing PS speed run strat. You need to get more MR anyway. Oh, fair enough. But yeah, we can save Alatreon for next time then. What do you need for loadouts in Alatreon? Generally for Alatreon, I use the health booster. It just helps during the nuke that he does. And then basically it's just use a lot of element. Oh, you got Aqua Shot from the Meldon. Oh, nice. So yeah, well, since Vector needs some more MR, then we'll hold off on Alatreon for now. We'll maybe do that on the next midweek stream then. So hopefully I'll be feeling a bit better by then. We can do Alatreon and Fatalis, or at least try and get one of them down anyway. You were MR 200 before, but it didn't save. What MR are you now? 84. That's like a lot of lost progress. You had to do all of Iceborne. Oh, that sucks. Was it just like a problem with your cloud save or something? Because I've never heard of that happening. Tell you what then, since we can't do the really hard fights, let's do Shara. Why not? Maybe you forgot to turn on cloud save. Oof. Just let me know if you can't join that vector, because I don't know what you're able to join at the minute. You've only done this fight once ever. I think most people do it in story and then pretty much don't touch it again. Yeah, so we'll just wait for ground and then we'll try this. You're still looking at Aqua Shot. Oh, no worries. You're running 3 meal mushroom man, so have fun not healing ever. Yeah, so we'll just wait for ground to get his Aqua Shot sorted, and then we'll get started. Yeah, no, it's a bit more of like a low energy stream today. I was sort of in two minds whether to stream or not at all, but I thought I've been saying I'm going to play Monster Hunter World for a while, so I thought we'll at least stream for a while and see how things go. Aquashot's not finished, but he'll join now. No worries. I should probably say, if anyone is considering playing Iceborne for the story, this is probably not a good quest to watch because it literally shows the final boss. So, just a warning. Phase 1 will be fast. I think it's a pretty cool monster in terms of design and how it gets revealed, but yeah, it's just not a fight you do very often. Yeah, it's a good point, actually, isn't it? Yeah, Pierce against Phase 1. Got to make a move. Need to try and get a decent night's sleep. Struggle to get 3 hours for the last 9 days. Be good, everyone. No worries, LGP. And thanks for dropping by as well. Hope you get more sleep as well. Yes, this guy, honestly, the first phase of him is not brilliant. It's very sort of slow paced while you're basically just chipping his armor away. But still, I think the reveal of this going from like the first phase to the second phase is one of the coolest parts in Iceborne. Normally you would send him flying into the wall, but you need him to drop some materials first to do it. I think there was actually some in camp that I totally forgot to get. Thankfully, this fight does pick up a lot when you get to the final phase. Well, even the next phase, honestly. But still, even with in-game gear, you know, he does still hurt quite a lot. I think the one in this quest is actually buffed a little bit as well. Kind of want him to come over here so I can launch him. Good lad. Ah, nice. Got it. So you basically launch him into the side so that the wall collapses on him. I've actually managed to get one true charge slash in, which is a rarity for me with this game. Alright, we've all got the phase change now. Now the actual fight starts. Yeah, it's a really weird fight, this one, because although he's like the final boss of the story, I know Drac was saying earlier he'd barely do it, and he's right. You essentially beat story, you do him once. You might maybe do him once or twice to get some of the armor pieces, maybe. And then you kind of just never do it again. I think it's because a lot of his gear just isn't that good. I would like to get a few more hits on the head if I can, but there's only certain attacks you can really get away with doing it. I was extremely lucky there. It's definitely one of the sort of the showpiece bosses of the game, though. It's also very, very creepy with the eyes as well. I've heard some people say apparently it looks at your camera rather than anywhere in the game, but then some people say it doesn't, so I don't know what's actually true. That's probably not a good thing. I'll relax here. Sounds like a plan. I always forget he does that as well. He basically does the big nuke, and then while the dust's still settling, it fires a beam that you can't see. Oh, nice, got knocked down. That was a huge hit. It's basically the duality of Greatsword. You get a massive hit and then immediately miss the next one. Actually gets a bit annoying this fight later on, because when you get to the late stages of it, it essentially makes most of the arena into the sand pits. And the way it works is it can basically detonate the sand pits pretty much whenever it wants. Yeah, that guy is a lot more difficult when you first get to it in Iceborne, because you have a lot worse gear than we've got here. Sounds like the crab on Frontier. Dude, the crabs in Monster Hunter are a menace. I know there is like the bigger boss ones as well, isn't there? Love the damage from Heavy Bowgun. Heavy Bowgun is super good in World. The nuke only hits the middle. Yeah, I mean, the way it works is it hits most the middle of the arena. If you stay right at the edges, you're usually alright, regardless where you are. The only thing that you watch out for is the beam just straight after. Heavy Bowgun is OP in every Monster Hunter game. I will say I didn't really like Heavy Bowgun in Rise. I didn't play it much, but I wasn't a big fan of it in Rise. Oh, you got a gem. Oh, nice one. Frustration is real. Honestly, I mean, in Rise, every time I had to fight Shogun, I can't stand that enemy. It's so irritating to fight. It's a cool monster, but yeah. You can't wait to grind again in Wilds. I am so ready for Wilds. I like my monsters tender. Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen so far, Wilds is looking really promising. I'm still not totally sold on some of the monster designs so far. The spider that they showed in the last trailer, that looks really cool. And I quite like the apex that they showed as well. I think it's called, is it called Radar or Radau? That looks pretty cool as well. Gonna have dinner, we'll join next quest. Yeah, no worries, Drac. It is looking good so far. I think some of the earlier monsters, I'm not a huge fan of the designs, but it sounds like a very, very ambitious game. Like, extremely ambitious. Sounds like it's quite a big departure from anything they've done so far as well, so I am really looking forward to it. He's still gonna Beyblade in Wilds. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure what weapon I'll main yet. I've always traditionally made Insect Glaive, but I know they've removed the helicopter from Insect Glaive, and although I mainly play Insect Glaive on the ground anyway, so it doesn't really affect me too much, but I just don't like the fact they've removed it. So I'm leaning towards maybe Lance, because I love Lance. You're going Lance as well, Victor. I didn't like Lance when I first started playing Monster Hunter. It took me ages to get used to how it worked, but once I actually, give it a bit of practice and actually got used to it, I love how it plays now. Yeah, I'll go Gun Lance this time, actually. All my friends hate Lance. Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier, but I think it's one of those weapons where if you watch someone play it, you won't understand why it's so cool. Because it doesn't look interesting when you watch it. I know there's a Monster Hunter streamer that I watch quite a bit, SD Shepherd, and he generally doesn't play Lance on stream because people just don't like watching Lance. Which is a shame because I think it's a really cool weapon.
I've been waiting for you.
Honestly, the only weapons I don't really play at the minute is I don't really play Hunting Horn or Charge Blade, and that is purely because I am too smooth brained to be able to play either of them. Hunting Horn was very easy in Rise because they've made it like ridiculously simple to play. But yeah, in World, I have tried to get used to that weapon. Maybe they need to make Lance like a longsword with flashy combos. Yeah, I mean, longsword is always going to be popular, isn't it, realistically? You know, people call it weep sword for a reason. That's no shade on longsword as well. I do actually like longsword, but yeah. Yeah, I would like to learn Charge Blade. Maybe in Wilds is where I try and learn Charge Blade properly. Aquashot abilities are done. Oh, nice one. Bow looks fun in Wild. It does. The only concern I've got with Bow in Wild is that it has like tracer shots that now are essentially homing shots. And Bow quite often is overpowered. So the thought of Bow with homing shots is kind of scaring me. for players who can't aim. I mean, it depends how it's implemented, I suppose. I mean, obviously they've shown a brief trailer for each weapon, but you know, they are very, very short snippets of what the weapons can do. It really is. It's going to take until the game releases and we actually get to sit down with it and experiment with the weapons that we actually know how they work. It does seem for the most part like they've stayed quite safe with them. Like a lot of the weapons do seem to have more or less the same movesets again, just with a couple of tweaks. Which, to be honest, I'm all for because I like a lot of the movesets anyway. Let's do... Oh, it's MR 100 or higher for that. What MR are you again, Vector? 84, fair enough.
Ooh, hi.
Let's do Tempered Zenoga. But yeah, I am super, super excited for Wilds. I just wish we get a bit more details on the release date because it's still only 2025. We don't know a month or anything at the minute yet. I mean, I would imagine if they've showed us the weapon trailers for every single weapon and there's been playable demos of it, maybe it's further along than we think it is, but hopefully it's not too long. You're not really looking at spoilers, just the weapons, that's it. Yeah, I've watched most of the trailers I've done so far. Honestly, I don't really feel like they've spoiled much. It's been quite... Honestly, from what they've shown so far, they've given you a basic idea of how the game world works and what the basis of the story is going to be, but I don't feel like there's been that many spoilers yet. I think the interesting thing is going to be when it releases, how I'm going to play it, because obviously I want to play it on stream, but I also don't want to get spoiled as well, so I don't know, I need to figure out how to do it. Because I remember when World released on consoles before I could play it on PC, obviously it was really hard to avoid spoilers of what all the final bosses and everything were, so thankfully it's all launching simultaneously this time, so we shouldn't have that problem. Crossplay so LJP can join, yeah. I mean, that's the other great thing about Wilds as well, the fact that there's going to be crossplay as well, which is huge for Monster Hunter. Honestly, I think that was one of the downsides of World and Rise, really. I think World didn't surprise me that it wasn't crossplay, but when Rise released, to me that seemed like the perfect opportunity. You know, once the exclusivity with the Switch has ended, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to make it crossplay, but didn't happen. But at least this time they're all coming out at the same time, so it should be crossplay from the start. Usually I just don't pay attention to anything from creators when something I'm into is new. That is probably a really good idea, yeah. Yeah, it's always a bit of a pain when you want to watch someone stream and that they're playing the game that you want to play and you don't want spoilers. You're like, well, I guess I can't watch you for the next couple of weeks. You bought it on PS4, then sold your PS4 when it released on PC. Yeah, honestly, that did kind of annoy me with World, with how much of a gap there was between the PS4 and the PC version. I want to say it was about a year or so between World, and I think for Iceborne, even for Iceborne, it was a few months. But I guess, I don't know, I guess with World, I guess they were kind of experimenting with the PC fan base to an extent. Because I don't think there'd really been a PC Monster Hunter, apart from maybe, I suppose if you want to count Frontier. Thoughts on the new PS5? I mentioned it briefly at the beginning of the stream. I think the price, as most people probably feel, is ridiculous. I don't like this trend as well that we have where for the UK market and for Europe as well, where they basically just change the currency symbol and keep the same numbers for the price. Now, I know that the US price doesn't include tax, whereas the UK price does. But even with the tax difference, we still get paid way more in UK and Europe, so I'm not a fan of that. And I just feel that £700 for a console is ridiculous. I know it's really powerful, but to me, I'm kind of the opinion where if you're spending that much on a games console, I would personally just rather save up a little bit more and get a good gaming PC instead. I know obviously for a top end gaming PC, you're gonna spend a lot more than that, but you could get a reasonable spec one for around that price or a bit more. And I kind of feel that that's probably the option you should probably go with because it gives you a lot more options. I also don't like with the new PS5 how they're still cheaping out with it to an extent as well. So even if you do pay that £700 or $700, you don't even get the stand with it. I just feel the stand cannot be that expensive. Like, how much would it have hurt them to put the stand in the box with it? I mean, from what they showed in terms of the games, I feel that there is a visible difference in terms of, particularly with the frame rates. I feel like visually that there isn't too much in it. It's very minor differences that you have to really look for or have them point out to you. It was like little things in the background that were slightly clearer. But I feel that the frame rate is probably the most noticeable difference. But even then, I don't even think they said what resolution that the demos were running at either. So they were saying it was running at 60 FPS, or they were targeting 60, but I don't think they even said what resolution it was running at. I mean, I would assume they're targeting like something like 4K or at least 1440p. Or the disc drive, because we all celebrated last time they wanted to go digital. I've got nothing against digital games to an extent, but it does kind of suck that if you'd bought the PS5 with a disc drive, to then upgrade to the Pro, you're then going to have to buy a disc drive again. Feels like they're cutting corners to squeeze from players. I mean, one of the jokes that I've seen going around is people saying that, Concord failed so hard that they're trying to recoup costs by getting it back on the PS5. But it is ridiculous that, like Drax said there, that, for the money you don't even get the stand with it. I have no doubt it'll probably be a very, very competent console. For me as well, there isn't really enough on PS5 to justify me buying one. Pretty much anything that I'd want to play on PS5 is probably on PC anyway, or will release on PC shortly after. So I've kind of moved away from the console market as a whole, to be honest. The only console I've got from this generation is a Switch. I just kind of feel like having a PC and a Switch is like one of the best players at the minute. Obviously, different people have got different opinions, but for me, neither the Xbox or the PS5 really appeal to me that much. Nintendo has the benefit of being unique. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know the Switch is nowhere near the power of the Xbox or the PS5, but I just love with the Switch that it's, you know, if I'm going away somewhere, I can take the Switch with me. I've got, you know, a little portable console to take with me, and then when I get to, you know, when I get home again, I can just connect it back to my TV. I love how sort of versatile it is. Exactly, yeah. It doesn't need to be powerful. Oh, I finished ground. Oh, no worries. Switch 2 is going to be big whenever that is. I mean, you've got to think, I mean, the sooner the better would be great for timing, wouldn't it, for the Switch 2? Because, I mean, I kind of feel Sony have almost shot themselves in the foot a bit with the PS5 Pro. So if Nintendo then came along and said, right, we're launching the Switch 2 for like half the price. You got mine about a year after release, you haven't really done much with it. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, for my Switch, I mainly use it if I'm going away somewhere. It is I guess I mainly use it for portable in that regard. It's rare that I play it connected to the TV now. When I first got it, I did, because I got it for Monster Hunter Rise. But then when Rise released on PC, I just started playing the PC version. I finished making the Safi Aqua Shot water on my build. Oh, nice one. Yeah, and the other thing about the PS5 as well, as with pretty much any console, you know for a fact that when it launches, you're not going to be able to get hold of one. It's going to be on eBay, marked up ridiculously by scalpers. And if it's £700 from Sony, how much a scalper's going to charge? Other than Rise is mainly a Pokemon console. I would have played the Pokemon games. I don't know, I've kind of fell out of love with the Pokemon games a little bit. I think the last one I played was Moon on the 3DS. Obviously, I heard a lot of very iffy stuff about Scarlet and Violet, so I kind of stayed away from those a bit. I don't know if they've improved now or not. I don't know if Game Freak have fixed anything with them. I'll trade you an Oasis ticket for a PS5 Pro. Yeah, I'm so glad that I'm not interested in Oasis, because the prices those tickets were going for is ridiculous. Yeah, rent or PS5 Pro. That reminds me, actually, someone posted a link to something that Sony said a while back. So, for anyone who remembers, when the PS3 launched, obviously there was that huge meme of it being like $599. But there was another thing that one of the guys at Sony said around the PS3's launch, and he basically said, I want the PS5 to encourage people to work, to work more hours and to work harder so that they can, aim towards it and justify it. I'm in like completely the wrong place here. That's a very Japanese excuse. It was, yeah. Understandable. I feel like it's a longevity issue. Scarlet and Violet had a good story though, and performance was a bit iffy, but you enjoyed messing with the glitches for entertainment. Yeah, some of the glitches I saw were hilarious, to be fair. Ancient Forest layout is the type of layout you can't forget because it's so horrid. It is horrendous. Like, I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. Even the scout flyers don't have a clue where I'm going. To be fair, it's probably not an excuse. It was probably genuine. Try Raider Autopilot. I always forget that Raider Ride exists in this game. I've played this game for like 1,200 hours. And yeah, I continually forget that no, there is a Raider Ride system in this. Of course, Bambaro's here because Bambaro gets involved in every single hunt in Iceborne. Talking about invaders earlier, and this guy's like probably one of the worst. He just shows up all the time. Oh god, we've got Fulgrange Nath on the map as well. He's another one. Haven't seen the Wilds videos. Hope Hammer is good. I think at this point you're not going to watch on purpose. Yeah, I mean, I would say that if you're worried about spoilers, you won't really spoil anything watching them. But I can also understand why you'd want to sort of save them into the actual game. It is Electric Puppy. Very, very angry Electric Puppy. Now I've just got to remember how to play Gunlance. Is it true you can catch stuff off his back with the net? Yes, you can. You have to knock him down. But yeah, if you knock him down, you can gather bugs off his back. It's the same with Radoban and Uragan as well. You can mine stuff off their back when they're down. Oh god, that hurts so much. But yeah, the bugs that you get off him are the Fulgur bugs. But now I feel like I need my mushrooms. I do. I've never tried a mushroom mancer build, actually. I know it's meant to be really good, but I've never tried it myself. I forgot how aggressive Zinogre is in Iceborne. If he would stop attacking me for like 2 seconds, I can actually get the bomb on him, but no such luck yet. You love the rising BGM for Zinogre. It does go really hard, doesn't it? Yeah, it's basically when you get the mount music, it's basically just a load more drums, isn't it, for the most part? Yeah, I do like Zinogre. I know he's a massively popular monster. I mean, he won the monster poll for the most popular monster, so I like him. I think I personally prefer Stygian Zinogre. Forgot to say before, but if you want to do a PSU stream any week, maybe when the new player experience hits, video on the experience, then a stream would be nice. When does the new player experience stuff launch on Clementine? Don't know if they gave a date yet. Let me check Discord. Yeah, I am always looking for more ideas for videos. I was talking to Deployable a bit about this yesterday, actually, on PSO. And he was saying, like, once you've done the lore videos, what are you going to do for PSO? Because you must have covered pretty much everything. And it did kind of make me think, damn, yeah, I'm kind of running out of ideas to do for PSO videos now. I suppose the advantage is that we can bring in other games like PSU as well. I am interested to see the new player experience thing that they do, though, because that was always one of my biggest issues with the Clementine. The fact that you essentially just went on and did Clem Camp and then power levels, and that was about it. So if they are improving the new player experience, I am all for that. Oh, I tried for the red gun lance mount, but it didn't work. Maybe next patch. Said it was next update, looking at all the patch notes, see nothing about it. Yeah, I kind of feel with Clem sometimes they'll announce something and then just kind of forget to do it. Speaking of, can't seem to find Clementine at all. Do you mean the website? Because I know they had a lot of hosting issues with their website. I'm not sure if they managed to get those resolved or anything. But I know someone else on, I think it was on the last stream I did, someone else was saying that about Clementine as well. Oh god, Bambaro's back again. See, people who start with Rise won't get this experience. They're having two monsters harassing you at the same time. Because in Rise, they just attack each other and then you ride one of them. Wallbang Bambaro and Tezinoga stuns them both. Yeah, that's like the best thing to do, honestly. The other option is obviously to use something like dung pods and scare one of them off. Excuse me, sir. That was personal. That there was genuine malice behind that. Really? Who hurt you? Probably Zinogre. Yeah. If he gets knocked down again, I'll try and show you the gathering thing. I can't remember if you actually equip the net for it. I think it just shows up as a prompt instead. He heard us conspire against him. I don't know what it is about Bambaro. He just seems to intervene in every single hunt you do. I think it's made worse because obviously he's an early game monster, so he appears in more missions and he can appear in pretty much every zone. And it's not like he really does damage, he just interrupts you all the time. He has the Basilgeuse gene. Yeah, I said earlier that that's one thing I didn't like about what they did to Basil in Master Rank. I liked him more as an invader. Yeah, the combination of me being super rusty with gun lance and fighting a tempered Zinogre is not going particularly well. This is another reason I didn't really want to do Alatrana or Fatalis today, because I thought I'm going to be really rusty, and being rusty on those fights is not good. Vector going for the killer BGM burst. I would try and mount him with a gun lance, but it's not easy with a gun lance. I swear every time I've gone for the worm stake, it's just interrupted me every single time. Should probably just use Rocksteady or something, honestly. Yeah, I'm pretty horrible at this at the minute. You don't realise how rusty you get at this game until you try playing it again. I mean, it's been a few months since I played this. I think the last time I played it was on stream last time. Quite a fun hunt, Zinogre. I think they gave him a few new things in Rise, which I think made the fight a little bit better. I will say though, when you first get to Zinogre in Rise, he's actually a really difficult fight. He's like way harder than everything that you fought so far. I think in World, it was maybe a little bit disappointing because obviously you don't actually fight Zinogre in World until you get to the Gardenlands. By which time you've already beaten Elder Dragons and things like that, so it feels weird going back to like a regular monster. See if I can get it. No, I'm just getting attacked by all those. You do get a prompt though, if you go around his back. You sometimes do get a prompt that pops up to say you can get Fulgur Bugs. I think I was getting flinched there, so I couldn't get the prompt to show up. As I say, it works on Radaban and Uragan as well. Mildly terrifying. Also, the worst thing they did to this guy in Rise is they got rid of his howl. He doesn't do his howl when he charges up anymore in Rise, which is just unforgivable. So that howl there, he just doesn't do it in Rise. He does the charge up animation, but just doesn't do the howl, which is really odd. Nope, whiffed it. That biting attack is actually really annoying with weapons like Lance and Gun Lance, because I think it just goes through your guard. Nah, he's limping. So yeah, I would say for the next stream on Sunday, if you got any suggestions for what fantasy style you want me to play, I'm totally fine playing more PSO on Sunday, but if you want to play PSU or anything instead, I'm more than happy to as well. See if I can see it. No, I think because of the pierce shots, the stagger is just like too much, so when you get near him, you just can't actually get the pop up to shot. But it is there. How the hunt so far? Also feeling any better? I'm feeling better than I was. I'm still not 100%, which is why I'm not doing anything like Alatron or Fatalis today. So you haven't missed that, don't worry. I think we'll probably do that next time we play Monster Hunter World, which might be either next week or the week after. Yeah, hunt so far, we're just doing some pretty chill ones, honestly. We did the Resident Evil Valhazak hunt, and just doing Tempered in Ogre at the minute. The Fabled Episode 3 stream. I mean, we have played it on stream before. I've got to say, it was not one of the more popular streams. You know, I think because a lot of people, some people probably haven't heard of EP3, and a lot of other people, I imagine a lot of people probably just discount it because it's a card game. But yeah, I am totally fine playing some EP3 as well. I mean, there's no sin we just have to play one game on stream as well. We can always do like a bit of one game and a bit of another as well. I think, like I say, the only downside with episode 3 with streaming it is because I can't really use my GameCube file. It means that pretty much everyone just starts from the beginning, so everyone would just use the same cards more or less. So everyone would be using boomers and sabers. You want to start next quest ground? Yeah, it should be fine. The only thing I'd say is I think Vector is sort of high 80s master rank, so you won't be able to pick anything that's master rank 100 to do. I guess you got lucky when you picked it up, because now you can't even find it for less than 70 in the States. That's crazy. You can normally get it, honestly, fairly cheap here still. There's not a huge amount of copies available for it, but it is out there, and it's not too expensive here at the minute. I bought my copy a few years back because my brother had a copy of it, and he eventually, when he went to university, he moved away to like the other end of the country, so he took EP3 with him, and I kind of missed playing it, so I just went and bought my own copy. It's the quest to upgrade Temporal. What's the requirements for it? Why is it sci-fi themed lobby? Yeah, for some reason, I think this is is it the Appreciation Fest or the Winter Star Fest? One of the two. Can't remember which way around. It's 125. Yeah, so we won't be able to do that because Vector's not at 125. Let me choose a better quest. Oh, you taking a break, Vector? That's up to you.
I've been waiting.
Let's see, what are we doing? Oh, Brute T-Rex. Yeah, that's actually a really fun one, that. I feel sorry for Brute T-Rex. He was like... This quest exists because he was the least hunted monster in the game. Because people just don't like him. I think he's cool. A lot of Fantasy Star stuff is fairly reasonably priced on CEX. I refuse to call it its actual name because it's just so stupid. Yeah, I can't remember how much I paid for Ep 3 now. It wasn't too much though. That's what he gets for yelling so much. I mean, to be fair, yeah, Brute, he does yell a bit. Just a little bit. Just hold on ground. We still need Draken to join. Computer Entertainment Exchange. What's so wrong about that? What is wrong about it is how they abbreviated it and how they pronounce the abbreviation. Why anyone greenlit that is beyond me. Vol Brothers Law went. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to do a PSU law video, I mean, it's something I could consider doing. And the only downside is doing the story in PSU is, I believe it's quite hard to do now. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure episode 1 for the story was like offline only. And then I don't even know if you can do episode 2 or 3 on Clementine. I honestly can't remember. You dropped 35 on Ep 3 and felt like that was a fair exchange. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable price for it, honestly. As someone who knows the marketing team there, they think they're amazingly fun and clever. It is not amazingly fun or clever. You helped design the CX basics packaging. You would on the website, but someone went cheaper and everyone hates the new site. Or just place episode 3 in Affinia. If only. Yeah, so if you haven't seen this guy before, his deal is he likes shouting. Like that. A monster who shouts so much, he shouts beams. And now he's on the floor. He has anger management issues. He does. I think even of the monsters in Monster Hunter, this guy is up there for angry. He has problems. Molten T-Rex is cooler. Yeah, I've seen people hunt him before. I've never actually fought it myself. It's basically an opossum in the form of a giant lizard. You think Molten is on the DS Monster Hunter? Honestly, I want to play some more Monster Hunter GU as well. I'm super early in the game though. So I don't think it'd be entertaining on stream at the minute because I'm literally on like the first hunt in the game. I don't really have much time to play it outside of stream, so... There you go, literally shouting beams. Yeah, I've always liked this guy. The only thing I will say is he is very irritating to fight with certain weapons. Because he shouts so much, it can be a bit annoying to deal with. I tend to find that if you use a weapon that can guard on him, it makes him a lot easier. I just realised Drax using Hunting Horn. Absolutely burst. Oh, there we go. We got the mine on him finally. Yeah, I really enjoy Gun Lancing World. It's a really fun weapon. Oddly, I didn't play it much in Rise. I think it's just because I don't think it's anything against the weapon in Rise. I think it's just that I didn't play Rise anywhere near as much. I mean, I think I played World for about 12 or 1300 hours, somewhere on there. Whereas Rise, I think I played for maybe 200. I just found that Rise didn't have much lasting appeal for me once I got to like, the end game of Sunbreak. He does really enjoy shouting. It's kind of his whole thing. Yeah, this quest is actually great to do as well because it's a really good way of getting armor spheres. Because instead of his actual party, you get armor spheres from him instead. Nice, I'll take that. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the non-Fantasy Star streams as well. I know most people obviously subscribe for Fantasy Star stuff, so I fully understand if it's not for some people, but I just wanted a little bit of variance on the streams, honestly, just so I wasn't playing PSO every single stream. Screamo Lizard just wants attention. I mean, he's not a particularly hard monster, honestly, but I do find him quite a fun fight. It just surprised me that he was like the least hunted monster in the game. You know, especially when things like Nightshade Paolumu exist. Can't stand Nightshade Paolumu. I swear every time I get near him, he's just knocking me away again. Yeah, one thing I do hope is, I really hope that Wild is sort of as in-depth as World. I mean, it certainly seems that way from what they've shown for things like the endemic life. It does feel like the world is going to be a lot more living and breathing, unlike Rise. But I hope there's as much to do in Wild in terms of, you know, a huge amount of side quests and so on. Going AFK for like 30 billion years. Fair enough. Nightshade is such a boring fight, puts you to sleep. Well done. It is, though. It's a terrible fight, I think. I think the variant and subspecies monsters they added in Iceborne were a bit of a mixed bag. I also hate Shrieking Legiana as well. I don't mind the regular Legiana fight, but Shrieking I find really irritating. But then you've got ones like Coral Puka Puka. I love Coral Puka Puka. Viper Tubby Kadachi is pretty cool as well. It was actually a really surprising monster that for the early game of Iceborne, because you get to it. It's almost one of the first monsters you fight. And it's the first one that actually has a really good chance of killing you. Yeah, so if Ground's AFK, we can do one duo then if you want, Drac. Also, I love that outfit. It looks so good. Let's get Red Echoes. Sounds good. Do you want to do one of the Tempered Elder quests then? Like the Tempered Teostra one that gives good decors? Teostra for sure, he's easier. He's certainly a lot easier than Lunastra. Lunastra is another monster I hate. I can't stand fighting Lunastra. And Kashala's pretty annoying as well. I don't think Kashala is hard, it's just irritating, but Lunastra is just a pain. I don't know if I have a water insect glove, to be honest. I might have to use an ice one. Yeah, that'll do. back from the 30 billion year AFK. Yeah, we're going to do Day of Ruin, so it's the Temper Teos request. Yeah, it does kind of look like a bard. It is a really cool look, that. Again, fashion is a big thing in Monster Hunter.
I've been waiting for you.
Fashion is the true end game. Yeah, pretty much. Same in NGS as well. Also, there's been a really interesting thing happening with NGS recently as well. So I put out a video on NGS a couple of days ago, which was kind of showing some issues I've got with how the population's going and why it might not be growing very quickly. Since then, there's been a few other NGS creators that have all done videos kind of criticizing the direction that Sega's taken, which has been really interesting that it's all kind of happened at the same time. Spread's great for Teostra, not so much Pierce. Yeah, spread works really well on him. And yeah, I think it does play part of the Teostra theme. You tend to find that with a lot of the hunting horns that they'll play some of the theme of the monster that they're from. I like him just getting sniped from across the map. So again, this is a pretty fun quest. I don't mind the Teostra fighting world. I really don't like fighting him in Rise though for some reason. They changed him quite a bit in Rise and I really don't enjoy the changes to the fight. I do need to remember that this is a tempered Teostra, so it will actually hurt. Teostra theme sounds like the PSU desert map. Yeah, there is similarities to it. I'm quite glad I remembered what that nuke was. It's been a while since I fought this guy. Honestly, nothing new. Typical Sega Japan not caring about the NA market. At this point, they may as well become Konami and just send everything they own into pachinko machines. I mean, the general sort of consensus from the videos that I saw was that there's been a new Dark Falls quest added recently. It's like a harder version of one of the existing ones. But the sort of main complaint that people have about it is that it just doesn't really feel like it's worth running. There's not really much reward for it, which I do get. I think it is a fair criticism. I think to an extent we kind of need to look at the early games a little bit more, and I think Sega could do with looking at those and seeing why they were popular. And one of the big reasons for it was that a lot of the so-called end game of the earlier games like PSO and PSU was spent hunting things. And at the moment with NGS, there isn't really a whole lot to hunt. You're essentially going after augment capsules and maybe farming Eridim and Excelio weapons, and that's about it. There isn't much sort of lasting content to make you keep logging in, I guess. I would like to see it get improved, and I think it could be a really good game if they did add a bit more to grind for, a little bit more to actually hunt for. Just a purpose to actually do some of these quests. Because at the minute, I don't really see why many people would do the new Darkfall Stallion quest when it's harder than the original one, and the rewards just aren't much better. I think there's one weapon camo you can get from it that's unique. And that's about it. There isn't really much reason to do it. Honestly, I blame the gacha genre. That is probably part of it. I mean, you can't really ignore the fact that the game is quite heavily built around the Axe Cash Scratches now. When you look at the update and they're actually treated as a part of the content update, that kind of tells you where they are. I don't necessarily think that's Sega's fault as such. I think it's just a sign of how things are in the industry. Because, gacha games are massively popular. They make a ton of money. It's obviously not how I wanted it to go, but I think it's just endemic of the industry to an extent. The other thing about that as well, though, is that again, it's not necessarily the fault of NGS as such, because obviously there were Axe Cash Scratches in PSO2 as well. It's a tough one, really. I'm not against there being gacha in the game, providing it's not pay to win. I don't mind just things like cosmetics being in a gacha. That doesn't necessarily bother me, but I don't like it when the gacha is the main focus of the game. Unfortunately, it does feel like there is a big focus on the scratches at the moment. And the thing is, they must be doing pretty well because they wouldn't keep doing them otherwise. I'm assuming that the way that NGS is run is probably heavily based on how the Japanese version is received. And if the Japanese fan base are enjoying the scratches, they're probably going to keep doing them. It would be interesting to see kind of what the Japanese player base opinion of NGS is. It's not really something I've ever looked into, to be honest. They're a business and their goals to make money, but when the money spending becomes the onus of gameplay, it does bring down the overall experience. Yeah, I totally agree. Oh, that was a very nice tail sever. I'll take that. I think obviously, when you've got games like, things like Genshin Impact and, stuff like Honkai as well, they're obviously doing incredible numbers from gacha sales. They're only going to keep doing it because of the amount of money it makes. I mean, that's not to say you have to make a gacha game to be successful. I mean, stuff like Black Myth Wukong is an example of that. You can still make a game without gacha in it that can be successful, but it does seem like to be one of the main money-making tactics now. to have the game itself be free and then have a gacha system in it. Trying to get a mount on this guy, but it's not going well so far. Yeah, I feel regarding how NGS is at the minute, I think the likelihood is that it's probably not going to change much. I think the formula for it is very set in stone now, and I don't really see Sega changing it a great deal. Which is kind of a shame because I do feel like it has a lot of wasted potential. There are some elements about NGS that I do really enjoy, genuinely. I feel like the character creation in particular is one of the best I've seen in a game. And to me, the combat in NGS does seem reasonably fun as well. But yeah, I think even on that though, that there is issues with that. So although the combat itself is fun, we have essentially been fighting the same enemies since launch, more or less. You know, we had the dolls for a while. And then we got the Starless, but the Starless are just kind of purple dolls that don't really do much different. It does get very old quickly. And just being a decade later in a market natively is kind of a blessing and a letdown, because 10 years worth of content to go through, then there's also 10 years worth of content to go through. Yeah, exactly. I've said this before, but I do feel that when NGS launched, it did get some unfair criticism because a lot of people were comparing it to PSO2. But I think what some of the global player base maybe didn't realise is that obviously the PSO2 had essentially about 8 years worth of content to it. So you were comparing a brand new game to an 8-year-old game that had 8 years worth of content built in. But also I do get some of the criticism that was leveled at launch, because when NGS launched there was next to nothing to do. I think it is better now. It has improved, but there are still issues with it. I don't really know what happened there. Maybe we ran out of stamina. No idea. Kind of paying no attention to this, honestly. The real gripe with it is being bombarded with so many windows upon starting, and the explanation of what they're for being kind of lacking. Yeah, I mean, I feel that's an issue with both NGS and with PSO2. PSO2 is also very overwhelming for a new player to start with. But yeah, I do get what you mean. Yeah, it's kind of sad, honestly, because I am a huge Fantasy Star fan, obviously, so to see NGS the way it is a little bit disappointing. I feel like they've made a couple of good decisions recently. I mean, I do genuinely enjoy the Nameless City. I think it's a interesting bit of content. I just wish there was a bit more reason to do it. It would be nice if they added a bit more to it as well. But yeah, I do feel like there is a ton of wasted potential with NGS, unfortunately. And looking at the roadmap, I mentioned this in the video, but looking at the roadmap, there isn't a whole lot to get your hopes up for, honestly. Unless there is stuff that they haven't put on the roadmap yet, because it isn't confirmed. You dislike spread, not worth using. Spread is brilliant against certain monsters. Spread is really good if you use it with the impact mantle on certain enemies. So, for example, on Kashala, if you use spread with heavy bowgun on Kashala with the impact mantle, you'll just constantly knock it out. Critical boost evasion window. That's not too bad, actually. I haven't played PSO2 for longer than I haven't played PSO. That says a lot. And if I did fancy playing one, it'd be PSO or PSP. Yeah, the PSP games are really good. I really find that the cutscene of the Palicor's cooking is well done. It's such a little thing, but it's so endearing. That's honestly one of the things I love about this game. There is so much that is just like... They didn't need to do it, but they did. You know, it's even just daft little things. Like, you know, if you go in here... You know, obviously I showed this at the start of the stream, but obviously, you know, your Palicor sort of cuddles up to you. But then there's different things you can do. And it's just like really... It's things that they did not have to add to this game. Well, for example, like you can pick your cat up and you can dip its feet in the water. It is incredibly cute. I mean, why add one thing you can do with your Palicor when you can have more? So you can also do this. That's inaccurate though, my cats hate baths. And you can also just pet it as well. You know, it was game of the year when it released, just for this. The other thing as well is that if you do a gesture, your cat will kind of copy, or will attempt to copy it. So I'm just making sure you can see the cat okay. So if I do... You see the cat kind of copies your gesture, to an extent anyway. Again, it's just things they didn't have to do. It's just like attention to detail. I love it. You only read the PSU Desert Bead Gem on Teostra theme. Now it is kind of similar. It is, honestly, yeah. So there is also over here as well. There's loads of little daft things with this game that I just love. So you've got these like these little monkeys on here. And these monkeys also react to your emotes. The funny thing is that you can scare them as well. So if you do something like the Resident Evil zombie emote, they get scared. And then I think I've showed this before as well, but there's other daft little things you can do. So if you go over here, yeah, the cat goes zombie as well. Yeah. So if you go over here and you get the drink, if you keep drinking, I think I've shown this before on stream, but yeah, if you keep drinking, everyone with their first badge. I don't know how many of those it gives out, honestly. Yeah, so then if I get up then and try walking away, again, it's just stupid things that just did not have to put in the game, but I really appreciate that it is. Also, yeah, the cat crew here at the minute are aliens, because this lobby is themed sci-fi at the minute. But yeah, I feel like this is one of the best games for just ridiculous amounts of detail. It's sad that arm wrestling's gone. What if I told you that it isn't gone? It is still here. It's hidden away in the corner, but it's still here. Yeah, it took me a while to find it as well. Yeah, you can also do things like if you go in here as well, you can go in the hot spring. Arm wrestle someone. I will in a second if you want. But yeah, when you're in here, you can do things like you can dive under the water, and if you keep tapping the button, you can try and hold your head under the water longer. That's like a mini game. Eventually, you see your character sort of starts to struggle. Yeah, it's basically just loads of pointless stuff. Suffocation, no breathing. Yeah, this is my last resort. I never thought it'd be caught in Papa Roach, but here we go. I'll probably get destroyed here, but... actually won. Controller sucks. Let's see if that Gallon Shop practice helped. Yeah, I did Gallon Shop without a turbo controller for a while. The way that looks, Drac, it just looks like you're like whacking yourself in the head with the hunting horn. Oh, it looks like Drax lined up for an arm wrestle. Oh. Yeah, there's also a sauna in here as well, and if you stay in the sauna too long, you pass out as well. Yeah, attention to detail is really, really important. It's something I look for a lot. Hard to tell if you're pressing the right button. I think it comes up with a prompt. I think it's, if you want like an Xbox controller, it's B. Don't remember arm wrestling being in Rise. I want to say it isn't. I don't remember a lot of stuff being in Rise, to be honest. I mean, Rise was obviously cut down a lot because obviously it was designed for the Switch. So even in the environments, you notice that they're... To me, in Rise, it kind of feels like the environments are just game levels, whereas in this, the worlds do kind of feel a bit more realistic. You know, if you observe the monsters and don't attack them, quite often you'll see the monsters just like, you know, going to a pond to take a drink or going and hunting something. You know, they'll go and like find a herbivore monster in the map and, you know, and eat them. So they actually act realistic, which is really, really cool to see. And there's loads of endemic life in the background, so you'll see like birds in the trees and everything. Whereas in Rise, you didn't have a lot of that because, first of all, they wanted to use the endemic life as actual items that you could use. And obviously with it being on Switch, it was just... Rise was more about the verticality than anything else. But yeah, I think we've gone for, well, almost 3 hours, so I think I'll probably end the stream there for today. As I say, I'm not feeling 100% today, so apologies if the stream has been a bit sort of low energy today. No, thanks for joining, Ground. It's really cool to do some runs. So plan is there will be a video on Sunday, which will be some kind of Fantasy Star. I think it's probably going to be a PSO Law video. And then on Sunday, there'll also be a stream as well, which will be a Fantasy Star game of some description. I wish I could be more specific, but not yet. Thanks for the bits, Kilniath. Hopefully you feel better for PSO stream. Hopefully. I mean, I do feel better than I did last couple of days. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just something I get now and again. It's something I've had for a while that I'm stuck with and flares up now and again, so... Yeah, not a whole lot I can do about it, unfortunately. It's been good enjoying the variety. Oh, it's good to hear, actually. I will admit I was very worried when I started doing streams that weren't Fantasy Star because I just thought, like, people came here for Fantasy Star and no one's going to watch anything else. Mostly going through Monster Hunter World stream, so next time you stream, I'll join. Oh, nice one. Yeah, Ground, so I mainly stream Fantasy Star games usually, but I do plan on streaming more Monster Hunter going forward as we get close to Monster Hunter Wilds. Appreciate you streaming even without feeling 100. Feel better, broski. Cheers, Tycoon. But yeah, we'll probably end there for today, I think. Probably won't be back on PSO till Halloween and Christmas. I think a lot of people are probably doing the same. You tend to get people who just come back for the events, which I totally get. If you still want to watch PSO, I'll be playing it, no doubt, so... You only play Monster Hunter World. That's totally fine. I mean, honestly, if I can get people who play Monster Hunter to drop by, that's cool with me because I plan on playing more Monster Hunter anywhere. Have a wonderful day. And you too, dude. Thanks for dropping by. But yeah, I'll end the stream there for today. As usual, if you enjoyed it, usual on YouTube, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, etc. On Twitch, if you want to follow or anything else, feel free. And I'll hopefully see you guys on Sunday for another stream. See you guys.